I just started working with a company.
Yeah.
And I chose to start working with a company because I've done it black market forever.
Sure.
Well, forever. When I got out of the Highland Games and then started trying to get my knee unfucked, I got on gear. Plus, the blood work I had done at 30, my test came back at like 80. So I was low test anyway.
80 total nanograms per
Yeah.
deciliter in total.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
so
that's
pretty low.
fucking low.
So once I got on after I retired from the sport, they didn't really offer a great TUE in Highland Games, and we got drug tested a lot, so it was just easier to fucking not bother.
Sure.
And then I knew I would stop in as soon as I was going to be not competing in a drug tested thing. I was planning on getting on drugs. That was the plan.
Yeah.
And then, so just kind of ran my own stuff for a number of years to do HRT stuff, monitored my own blood work.
Yeah.
And then as I've been talking about it more on social media with people, because I'm pretty open about drug use.
Yeah.
That, get fucking checked. And because I can work with now someone and do it legally, like, I hate giving someone the recommendation to go get checked if you feel shitty and then not have an avenue for them to go do it.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah,
And I
Core Med Group is it's same thing,
Yeah. No, I'm familiar with them for sure. And, and I think like to the, obviously it's been around for, over a decade. Places have been doing it, but I think it's becoming less and less taboo to talk about.
It's fucking crazy that it's taboo at all.
Yeah. And do you feel that way? Like it's still a little bit taboo?
For sure it is.
But I feel like the pendulum is shifting somewhat to where there's more research and more knowledge out there to where they're saying, hey, like we are seeing trends of men that are younger having low testosterone levels. So like when we even like myself, so like what got us involved with it was my dad was having, joint pain issues with arthritis. He was a competitive weightlifter and things like that. And, he's a physician as well, physician himself. And I had told him, this was, I don't know, gosh, I was in my 20, over 10 years ago. I said, you need to get on, look at getting into the testosterone replacement therapy. I, had done some research. I was doing some research on my own because I've always been just kind of always curious about the anything medical related and on the pharmaceutical side of things. And, so I was like, hey, you need to get on that. And he's like, nah. And he came up in the 80s in weightlifting. So he obviously has a background in using a little bit of everything.
Sure.
And he goes, I'm not going back on testosterone. And then he's like, then he starts kind of doing some research and he goes, all right, yeah. He goes, like, I think it's time. Then he does it. And then all of a sudden he's back to working out 5 days a week. He's 68 now, but like, I just saw the shift in how much, I was like, and he works, works multiple jobs still now. And
I just don't understand the hang up to anyone of why you wouldn't do this.
Yeah. And I think, there's always there's that negative connotation anytime someone hears it, just because I think of all the the propaganda thing that gets pushed out there from sports.
100%.
Yeah. And so I think that's where a lot of that comes from.
So I think that's true, and I think you and I noticed that, right? Like, especially coming from a track background, fucking drugs are not spoke about within track. Powerlifting, strongman, no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
When people talk about drugs, it gets weird in a couple circles, but for the most part, people are pretty open about it.
Oh yeah.
But coming from a track background, like, you didn't whisper fucking drug talk.
Yeah.
And at that point too, like, it was just this blatant or a blanket of like steroids.
Oh yeah.
Like if 27-year-old me was trying to buy gear, or not 27, probably 25-year-old me was trying to buy gear, like I would have had to try to ask someone for steroids.
Sure.
I don't know any more about it.
Yeah.
Then that's what the thing is we can't talk about.